Imagine following an anti-MLM creator while actively selling a 2-day fast, detox cleanses, and an MLM meal replacement shake and thinking that it's going to go unnoticed. Well, here we are. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin Bies, and today we're going to be looking at a video from a woman who followed me on Instagram, commented on a behind-the-scenes reel of a video that I was recording for YouTube, and then accidentally revealed that she's still very much deeply involved in Isagenix, unfortunately. Now, when this happens, I always hope that someone is following me because maybe they're quietly questioning getting out of multi-level marketing. There's obviously levels to getting out and healing and removing yourself and deprogramming. So I always hope that that's the case. Unfortunately, this was not the case. I clicked on her link and I found a full Isagenix pitch disguised as a midlife nutrition class. You heard that right. It's full of fear-based claims, of course, pseudoscience and wellness marketing that preys on confusion and chronic pain. I hate it. You're going to hate it too. But today we're going to be breaking the video down line by line. You're going to hear some actual evidence-based advice around nutrition. And if you're new here, I am a certified personal trainer through ACE and a fitness nutrition specialist also through ACE. And I'm currently working on a level 1 nutrition certification through Precision Nutrition. I will be staying within my scope of practice. It's extremely important to me. So buckle up and we're going to walk through all of this together. So brace yourselves. And I hope you have your favorite snack and your favorite flavor of Dr. Pepper Zero or whatever you're drinking. Okay, let's get into it.
Hi, my name is. Thanks for joining in this midlife reset. If you're ready to do a pivot from dieting, we know diets don't work. I think we've all been on one or two in our lifetime. What I'm going to share with you today are tools. This is a toolbox of ideas and proven science that you can actually start incorporating into your meal plans, into your day, that will fuel the body and not clog it up with all kinds of debris the body doesn't know how to deal with. I have a background in gymnastics, teaching fitness. I have been in the gym since I was, 7 years old, through college. And then I taught fitness for about 20 years, including nutrition. I was always intrigued with nutrition because
you could be intrigued with nutrition and not be qualified to speak on it. I'm wondering if she has any kind of credentials around nutrition, because this is the problem that we see on social media. This is the very thing that I used to do when I was in multi-level marketing, where I would speak on these things and I had no business speaking on them. And it's really just a hook to try and sell you an MLM product. It's gross. Please, buyer beware when you are on social media and you're coming across things like this.
As a competitive gymnast, our coaches hammered on us to eat clean. So I understood what eating clean was before anybody was even saying that term. Eating clean is simply seeing what you can grow from your own ground, from your own garden, putting your own fertilizer on it, not relying on the government, not relying on GMOs, toxins, colors, dyes, preservatives, sugar, you name it, it's in our food source today. And when we look at when I was in grade school back in the 60s versus today, we see very dramatic differences in the size of kids in the classrooms. And I'm going to give you some stats in a little bit, but let's just start talking about fake food. Fake food is making us sick and holding us hostage to our obesity in this United States of America. So if you eat anything from a can, a box, a jar, a bottle, it's probably got chemicals in it that the body doesn't know what to do with. Fake food is making us sick. We are the most obese country in the world.
Everything is a chemical. Water is a chemical.
Even though we're the most sophisticated technology-wise, science-wise, medicine-wise. Why is that? I'm sure many of you smart women out there have scratched your head like I did and said, why, with all the resources we have, are we the most obese and the most chronic disease-stricken country in the world? Well, I can give you a little timeline here. So let's understand the timeline as to when and how our food supply started to change. 21st century, 1906, the FDA was formed. But prior to that, there was industry, obviously. We grew food from our gardens. Most people had their own gardens. They grew their own food until commercialization came in. Sugar was introduced in the late 70s. And when sugar was introduced to food, they knew right away. Big food, big gov, and big pharma, they all knew. And big ag, I should say, agriculture.
Who made this? This is not even my forte here, these slides, but even I know these are horrific slides. This is awful.
They all knew it was,
and I'm pretty sure raisins is spelled incorrectly,
addictive. Very similar to how tobacco was addicted a little bit later. So sugar being what it is, it works in our brain quite the same way, same pathways as cocaine. Cocaine is very addictive. It gives us that high and then it slams us. It's the same thing with sugar. It's very difficult to detox our bodies from sugar unless you have a nutrient-dense way to do it. And it can keep us sick, inflamed, acidic. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit. Tobacco, when they finally had to put the warning signs on our cigarette packages saying, this can kill you, cancer.
Why is this cut off at the top? I think that's supposed to say protein. I think this is representing grams of protein. This is so weird.
Causing. They decided to pivot into food. They knew they had the preservatives, the additives, and all that addictive chemicalization that they could now put into our food supply. And they did.
This is making me feel like this. I wore this shirt for a reason, for this video specifically. You'll see why here shortly if you don't already see it.
Oh, back in 1914, when the war was hitting us, everybody was canning. We started getting more cans versus glass. You know, people used it. My granny used to do all of her food in the garage, shelves and shelves and shelves of jarred peaches, plums, apples, everything that she grew in her garden. None of my dad's siblings were overweight. They were all very lean, lithe, active. The next generation, though, as fast food started coming into the picture back in the 30s, especially McDonald's. I mean, that was a big turning point.
Where are the sources on this slide?
The golden arches. We started noting obesity was on a rise. And then, of course, the frozen food with a lot of preservatives and chemicals was also introduced. So we've got freezer food, fast food, canned food, boxed food. No wonder our body is going, what do I do with all this stuff?
I think it's wild that she has canned and frozen food, many of which includes fruits and vegetables, listed on this slide as something that she's going to be pitching as being awful. Sometimes that's all people have access to because of cost. And if you're going to shame people, and she's going to fear-monger her way into all of this and talk about how canned food is terrible and how frozen food is awful, let's not forget that all of this is a fear-mongering Isagenix pitch. That's what she's doing here.
They're toxins, and they're making us sick. So let's go on to, so today what we call fake food is just ultra processed food with so many additives, chemicals, colors, dyes. We get it from the air. We breathe the water, we drink the food we eat, products we put on our skin. You notice lawsuits today because of mineral oil or powder, baby powder, petrolatum, cancer-causing ingredients. Now, I gratefully was introduced to humectant-based skincare back in 1990. And that's what put me on this journey of recurring income, thankfully.
Did you catch that little seed planting right there? Thankfully, I was introduced. Come on. If you have to fearmonger your way into attempting to sell a product, that says everything that I need to know about you.
I can show you how to get on that pathway. Once you find the right company with products that work, which these, you will see, do. So our body is not sure what to do with all these chemicals. And unless we can get these chemicals, which are stored in our fat cells, ladies, when we start seeing our bodies get larger, especially around the mid area, that is the body's gentle nudge to protect our organs. So God has made a beautiful machine, our body. It can
Not the spiritual manipulation. So soon into this? That's wild.
Take care of itself if we put the right fuel in it. So keeping the liver and all those internal organs safe from all the toxic buildup, our fat cells start gobbling up all the toxins. And those fat cells turn from grapes to raisins, back and forth, yo-yo dieting, we call it. When they're plumped up, they're full of junk. When they're shrunken down, you've gotten rid of the toxic buildup in the body. There is where fat can be released, because these are fat cells. We're born with X amount of fat cells. We don't grow fat cells. They just get larger or they shrink up. So on our body, it looks like we're either plump or shrunk. It's all about what we put in our mouths, ladies. It's all about what we put in our mouths. A body that is acidic is a sick.
Hold on. We'll get to the whole acidic thing. But did you guys notice how in the first few minutes of this, she's really setting up that fear narrative, that fear mongering, anything in a box or a can is suddenly toxic. The body apparently doesn't know how to process food unless it came from her MLM catalog. This is so weird. There's a huge difference between a can of black beans and some sort of a, like a Debbie snack cake or something like that. One is protein and fiber, and the other is a dessert. Your body knows exactly what to do with both of those things. Ultra processed foods can cause people to overeat because they're usually more calorie dense. That's real, but most packaged foods are completely normal, safe, and helpful. She takes a kernel of truth and is turning it, or attempting to turn it, into a scare tactic. And it's classic MLM nutrition, in my opinion, making people afraid of their grocery cart so that they only trust you and trust your Isagenix cleanse. Be so for real right now. Speaking of being for real, let's hear what she says about a body being acidic.
Body. It's an inflamed body. It is a body that grows disease and cancer. An alkaline body, think about back in our science classes, an alkaline body or alkaline pH is the way God intended it to be. Our bodies, our skin, pH balanced, as we call it. So when you can have an alkaline body, which is opposite of acidic, all that means is you're getting rid of all that junk, toxins, all the buildup around inflammation, disease, cancer. The body can only do so much. The liver is our, extraction point, but it can only do so much. And if we keep abusing it with the foods we eat, highly processed foods we eat, sugar that we eat, the body can't catch up. Hence, it breaks down. And that's where disease starts to show. We can control most every single chronic disease listed by the products we put in our body. That's amazing for most people to think about, but it's true.
This part is a mess. And I can only imagine how those of you that are part of the medical community watching this and listening to her claims must feel. Feel free to write in the comments, because I've definitely been rioting putting this all together. Your blood pH does not swing around based off of the foods that you eat. Your kidneys and your lungs regulate it extremely closely. If your blood pH moved the way that she's implying, you would not be on a, you wouldn't be watching this YouTube video. You would be probably checked into the ICU. And adding religious language like this does not make pseudoscience true. She may believe this. She may believe this with everything. But what she's doing here is trying to convince people through emotions and spiritual manipulation. Chronic disease is complex. It is not caused by eating crackers. You cannot alkalize your way out of cancer risk. That idea has been debunked for years. If you are facing any of these things, please consult with your doctor and don't listen to these people on the internet trying to sell you a product.
Today, fast forward, 2025, 73% of adults are either obese or overweight. 54% of our kids are either obese or overweight. What was it when you were in grade school? Do you remember going into the classroom and seeing large students sitting at the desk? Nope. Nor did we see kids with allergies. Think about today. I mean, you can't even take cupcakes in for a birthday, God forbid, right?
That's because people have food allergies and they could go into anaphylactic shock and die. God forbid someone come get the grandma, because This is wild.
Because of gluten intolerance or peanut allergies. How did all that happen? It happened because our body was introduced to all this foreign stuff that the body.
Oh, okay. So now you're an immunologist? Now you're somebody that studies all of this? You have a medical degree? No, you don't. This is terrible advice that she's given to people. And I'm going to say it a bunch of times today. She's doing this because she's trying to pitch you a bunch of Isagenix products. I just want to make sure that we're staying focused on that point because all of this is disgusting.
doesn't know how to handle. And until and unless you can get rid from a cellular level, remember those terms, cellular level, you're going to stay stuck. And the yo-yo dieting, the starvation, deprivation type eating model that has been for the past 50, 60 years.
Spoiler alert, she's going to be walking people through intermittent fasting, a 2-day fast, I believe, and other restrictive behaviors. But go off about that being a problem and contributing to yo-yo dieting.
Women especially will continue. The other choice is simplifying it by cutting out some of the crap, sugar in particular, and find the body's rhythm for adapting to not having the cravings, feeling balanced, waking up with more energy, not having that spike during the day, sleeping better, brain fog lifted. All these things are very possible when you can eat clean. It's all a decision. It's a choice. All right.
What is this? 90% of the annual $4.1 trillion healthcare expenditures, and she has health crossed off and replaced with sick. Okay.
A healthcare industry, it's actually a sick care industry.
Oh.
What do you think big pharma, big food, big ag, what do you think their goal is? It's not to make us healthier. It's not to keep us out of the pattern of needing their intervention. It's to keep us managing and treating disease. That's where we put our healthcare money. Why not spend it up front, nourishing the body, and then back end, have the freedom to travel in your retirement, get on.
Did you notice that very subtle recruiting pitch? Why not take care of your health up front and then have the money to be able to retire and travel? She's attempting to recruit based off of this fear-mongering. Now, do I think that healthcare, specifically health insurance and the process of getting treatment that you need in America could be different? 100%. Am I also grateful for what we have and the people that choose to work in the medical field that are doing the best that they can? Yes, absolutely. Many things can be true at once. We could want things to get better and be grateful for the things that we have access to now. Science and technology are always changing. It can always get better, but this is not how to go about doing this, how to teach people nutrition. This is not how to go about, hey, I have this solution and it's an MLM product for losing weight and preventing chronic illness, which is essentially what she's trying to say here. Pretty sure Isagenix compliance would not be real happy about this. Also, do they have any studies on the Isagenix products that show that they help with preventing chronic disease? No? Huh. Fascinating.
Floor with my two granddaughters. I piggyback them. I put them on my shoulders. We're up and down the river. I love being active with them. There's no possibility I could be that active if I was carrying 20, 30, 40 extra pounds of weight. And I don't say this with any insincerity. Trust me, I've grown up with sisters who have had weight issues. One of them, praise God, after 10 years of trying to talk to her about eating clean, she finally had an epiphany. And she joined the 30-day reset, which is what I'm going to introduce to you ladies. And she's dropped 43 pounds.
With a sister like that, who needs enemies? My God. Is your sister okay with you mentioning this on this video? This is wild. Wow.
About 13, 14 inches just from the waist. She feels like $1,000,000 and she looks like her old self. She still has another 50 to lose, but hey, in a 5-month period, less than 5 months, about 4.5-month period, not bad. And she is determined for life.
Hang on a second. How much weight did she say that she lost in 4.5 months? Did she say? I don't recall. We'll just keep it going.
Not to go back to eating the crap that she was used to eating. So what can we do about it? It's a decision. That's all it really is. Make that decision that you're going to take back your health, because you know what? We are the grocery shoppers and usually the food preparers in our family. Unless we make a change, lady, and I don't mean to put, ladies, I don't mean to put this guilt on us or make us wrong or tick you off. But you know what? If we don't look in the mirror as to how we're raising our kids, we're going to continue the lineage of obesity, chronic disease, allergies. And if that's okay, that's your choice. But I know
I'm laughing because not the shame on you for raising your children different than how I think you should be raising your children. First of all, she has no idea what she's talking about. People are going to raise their kids based on how they want to raise their kids and their family's culture, and that's okay. This shaming that she's attempting to do, like, oh, if you're okay with that, then so be it. Girl, do you think that that's going to get you more sales? That tactic? I can't imagine if with my personal training and nutrition clients, if I was like, shame on you for having that brownie. If you're okay with it, I can't even imagine. Wow.
many of you are desperately seeking a solution. I do have a solution. Whether or not it's for you, it's your choice.
Well, of course, it's our choice. And also, this isn't a solution. God, I love identifying these moments where all of a sudden the pitch, oh, here we are. I have the solution. Here's the problem. I'm going to shame you. Now we have the solution. Okay.
But when you see what this company has provided us and you go, why haven't I ever heard of this before? It's because a friend of yours who perhaps has tried this didn't share.
Oh, is that why you followed me on Instagram? Is that why you commented on my reel? Even though I commented back, I'm going to have Ava throw it up here. I commented back and was like, I'm not really sure you're in the right place. If you're actively promoting Isagenix and you see all my information in my bio, did you look at it? No? You didn't look at it? Clearly. And now here we are.
Let me just talk to you about why I, in 2017, came out of retirement. I was retired 20 years on recurring income from my first company.
First company, came out of retirement. So this is somebody that's been in another MLM company before. So she was collecting a check from her downline in her previous company and not working the business, and then joined another one, came out of retirement. Okay. I cannot wait to hear her personal testimonial that she thinks is actual evidence that the products work, because that's not how that works.
Kids were out of the nest. Thankfully, I was bored, and a girlfriend kept calling me saying, Jeanette, you've got to try these nutrition products. It's your background, it's your vibe. Try these.
Why is the RIP glowing? Why did you pick the glow? Is this made in Canva? Is that what this is? What is this? Largest botanical garden in USA, master formulator. Half of this is cut off. What is even happening here? Brown recluse spider bite. Formulated cleanse for life. Isagenix launched company in 2002. Dr. John Anderson, RIP, October 25th, 2022. What kind of a doctor was he? Because I think if you're going to use the appeal to authority fallacy, it would be important to mention what kind of doctor he is. That would be important. World-renowned master formulator, something companies, 2,300 products, name brand supplements you've probably used. Oh my God. This slide is so chaotic.
Skeptical, of course, because I tried every nutrition product you can imagine. And this guy,
right.
Dr. John Anderson, who started the company Isagenix.
Here's a nutrition product you could try. Food. Whether it comes in a can or frozen or whatever you are able to afford nowadays, food.
Was the formulator for so many of those shakes, bars, things that I would buy from GNC, the Vitamin Shop, what have you. He was world renowned. He's now with the Lord, passed away 3 years ago, but he was formulating for, 600 plus companies that you'll recognize, health food companies, and over 2,300 products. But what was happening is the budgets kept decreasing and his magical minerals, botanicals, adaptogens kept getting cut back, cut back, cut back. So, but just suffice it to say, when there's 24 studies that target fat loss, chemistry changes, markers from the doctor's office, improving significantly, getting off drugs and medication. This is not a company that we can say cures or treats.
Right.
We don't do that with disease. But when we teach our body how to put the right food into it. It's a miracle. That's how God
It's a miracle, you guys. Isagenix, it's a miracle, except it's not.
created us. So the 3-foot stool, 3 prongs, to get the toolbox together, to get the body alkaline, to flush the fat, to decrease the stress hormone, which is called cortisol. Women in their menopause, pre, peri, post menopausal stage of life.
Who did this? Who did this?
Always skyrocket with that hormone. The cortisol hormone is probably at a 10. Go get it measured. If you have a doctor, go get it measured. See where it's at.
That is the best advice that she's given. Go see your doctor if you have health concerns or if you seem to be having symptoms that are new. Go talk to a doctor. Have some blood work done. Talk to the professional, not an MLM rep with, I would imagine, not the proper credentials.
A scale and a percentage. Most of the women that I talk to have their cortisol off the charts. When that stress hormone is
How do you know that? Do they come to you with their blood work?
up, you cannot flush fat. The body holds on to that fat, especially in the gut. And it totally makes sense because when you start putting these different products with adaptogens and botanicals that lower that stress hormone, wow, you'll feel like a new person. Okay, so here's the website. Please go to it, .net. I got on the products. I noticed within 3 days, all my joint inflammation, my knee surgery, where I wasn't even walking on a straight leg for 30 plus years with the collagen that we have, it's straightened out again. I could walk again. I could work out without putting on a black tube around my knee.
You mean a brace? Didn't she just say a couple minutes ago, oh, we can't claim to cure or treat things? And then she's basically implying that this has treated her problems with her knees and her joint inflammation. What do you mean? Remember a few minutes ago when I was like, I can't wait to hear her testimonial. Apparently, here we are. Pain vanished, weight dropped, life transformed, and all in 3 days. Oh my God, it is a miracle. That is sarcasm, by the way. Stories can be really powerful, but stories are not science. And I think that's important to mention, especially with this video. Pain can fluctuate for so many reasons. Bloating can drop quickly when you stop snacking and eat fewer calories, which is what she's eventually going to be coaching people to do. That does not mean that the cleanse is doing something magical. Also, you don't need a cleanse, just to be very clear. Okay. Oh, let's hear what else she has to say.
I could lift my arm over my head because my rotator cuff didn't hurt anymore. There's a lot of miracles that the body will do for itself when you put the right nutrients in it. There's 24 studies currently, all designed around weight management, weight loss, fat loss, muscle retention, metabolism, and they're published in medical journals.
Now, I think it's also important to mention or to ask, we should be asking, these studies that she mentions, are they on Isagenix products? More than likely, they're not. They probably are on things like metabolism and some of the other things that she mentioned, fat loss and different things like that. But typically, when you look into these studies that these reps mention, it's not on the products. And in those studies, there's very specific things that the study follows. There are ways that testing is done to verify the results or lack thereof, or say, hey, this was inconclusive, but we would like to study it more. If there's a product or an ingredient that people are taking, there's a specific amount that they're taking for a specific amount of time. It's extremely important. And what we see from a lot of these people in MLMs is that they will use sound, legitimate studies that are not on their products and say, see, we have that ingredient on the label that typically is a proprietary blend. It's such a slap in the face to those studies and to actual evidence-based science. It is unbelievable. And I'd venture to say that's probably what's going on here.
We don't do our own studies. We outsource them. And like I said earlier, we sign a no back out clause, which means whatever the outcome is, it gets published, good or not good.
Where are the links to those studies? Now I have to look it up. There are studies associated with Isagenix or protocols similar to theirs. Some report body composition improvements, visceral fat loss, better appetite control, and more recently, changes in gut microbiome and self-reported digestive well-being after cleanse protocols. Some things to pay attention to. Many of the published studies on Isagenix are funded by Isagenix itself or conducted with researchers who have financial ties to the company. For example, in the 2023 intermittent fasting / protein pacing versus caloric restriction study, one lead author is on the company's advisory board and others are employed by Isagenix. Independent critics have flagged that some of the claims made by Isagenix, such as detoxing toxins from fat cells, as we've heard today, cleans out toxins, anti-aging, telomere support, etc., go far beyond what the published research actually demonstrates. The design of many studies raises concerns. Small sample sizes, we've seen that before, self-selection or volunteer bias, lack of long-term follow-up, and the fact that improvements often parallel what you'd expect from any significant calorie restriction and increased protein and weight loss, not necessarily anything unique to Isagenix specific products. Regarding detox or removing toxins from fat cells, there's very little credible evidence showing that Isagenix cleanse drinks or protocols actually accomplish what they claim in terms of toxin clearance. Many health experts consider detox marketing a red flag. I would agree with that. Some analyses argue that because the calorie intake on shake or cleanse days in the Isagenix plan is very low. Remember I mentioned that at the beginning of this? Often lower than standard healthy recommendations, the results, aka weight loss, fat loss, etc., might simply be due to caloric restriction and not because of any special superfood or cleanse drink effect. And while there are studies reporting improved gut microbiome markers or digestive symptoms under their cleanse and fasting model, the broader scientific community typically treats such findings as preliminary. Meaning, hey, we've got to look into this more. A healthy microbiome remains poorly defined overall. Improvements in microbiome diversity don't automatically equate to proven long-term health outcomes. So here's what you guys need to know. There does seem to be peer-reviewed studies, but those studies often have conflicts of interest. I think it's also important to mention that the results in some of these studies were not based off of Isagenix products, and they seem to be from calorie restriction, increasing protein intake, and intermittent fasting, which in my opinion is another way to do calorie restriction, which are well studied in nutrition science. So bold claims like detoxing fat cells, flushing out toxins, cleanse for cellular health or youth, anti-aging, telomere support, etc., those are not supported by independent high-quality evidence. So those remain marketing claims and not actual science. So just wanted to pause for a second, look at this, and mention that to you guys. So let's keep going.
20 plus years of doing these studies with different institutions, colleges, universities, etc. We've never backtracked. Everything is always matched up to what our scientists have discovered. Compared to the Mediterranean diet, which is the big one, people go on to drop fat, and you will drop fat. You will definitely lose weight, but you're losing muscle on that diet also. Or the heart healthy diet, which is the number one diet that doctors give patients, you're losing muscle. The GLP-1s.
Girl, what? What do you mean? What do you mean when somebody is put on a heart-healthy diet, chances are because they have some sort of a condition impacting their heart or they're afraid it could impact their heart, and the doctor says, hey, let's get with a registered dietitian, let's get you on this heart-healthy diet, let's get you training, let's get you lifting some weights, it's time to make these changes. You're going to sit on here and say, oh, these are people that are losing muscle? If you're not taking in enough protein and not resistance training 2 to 3 times a week, you're probably losing muscle. You can't make a blanket statement like this just to sell your Isagenix product and not expect to get called out, especially on my channel. This is absolutely wild. And the GLP one, thing that she's saying here. If you're not taking in enough protein and you're not resistance training 2 to 3 times a week, you could potentially lose muscle. But she's not going to mention that because that doesn't play into the fear-mongering that she's attempting to do here. It's absolutely disgusting.
The shots, the fat shots, you're losing
Fat shots? You mean the medication that was created for people with diabetes?
muscle. When you lose muscle, you lose your metabolism. And I know that we've all seen the elderly people, women
Oh my
especially,
God.
that have no muscle mass left on their bodies. It's just bone and
None.
skin. And that's what happens on the GLP-1s also. So
No,
this
it's
is a
not.
three-pronged approach. Protein, pacing. You'll see why and how that's important. I always ask ladies, do you know how much protein you're supposed to eat on a daily basis? I mean, it's crazy. People will say, oh, I eat 2 eggs and maybe a piece of meat at night, maybe 35 grams of protein. We need to eat half our body weight in grams of protein every day. And when that happens, you actually have more satiety. You are satisfied. You're not craving. So the protein pace throughout the day is crucial. If you weigh 150 pounds, if that's your goal weight that you want to get to, then you need to be eating 75 grams of protein every day. And dividing it up into the 3 meals is pretty simple. I get 36 grams in my shake in the morning. 2 scoops is 24 grams. I add a third scoop from a different shake that allows me to work out and gain muscle.
Right.
I do 2 of those a day. That's 72 grams of protein.
I'm sorry. You're drinking 2 meal replacement shakes a day, and you think that is sound advice? Now, listen, get your calories in where you can, but from a nutrition standpoint, ooh, I would much rather people get it from food and then supplement the rest. If getting it from food is not an option for whatever reason. Sometimes it's a texture thing, sometimes it's food aversion, sometimes it's allergies. Oh, this drives me crazy.
With 2 meal replacements. Then I have either a big lunch with the chicken and the salad and maybe a little bit of rice or couscous in moderation. But I can have big sizes of protein. It's no big deal because we need to keep our protein to keep our metabolism. Metabolism burns the fuel, the food
Well, you also need to be lifting weights.
we eat every single day, putting food in our mouth. We need to have something in our body that churns and burns it, and that's muscle. So 30 days, the weight loss, the fat loss is just comparable to these two, especially 56% more weight loss and twice the visceral fat. That's that abdominal fat, that sticky fat around the gut that is usually hard to get rid of. So this three-pronged approach to flushing the fat starts with what the company has put together.
I mean, you couldn't even crop these to make them look a little bit better. You just took a screenshot on your phone, you left the time in there. This is so sloppy.
Through clinicals, through science, it's called the 30-day reset package. Now, like I said, some women want to just do 11 days. Thanksgiving's coming up. They don't want to ruin Thanksgiving. Great. You'll have extra. You can start up again after Thanksgiving, but at least try it for 11 days. And what we'll do during those 11 days is you'll eat 3 meals a day, 2 shakes and 1 fork and plate meal, plus a snack or two. You're going to eat more, honestly, than you probably do currently. You're going to do Cleanse for Life. This is the detoxing agent. This is the one that's going to help flush the toxins. You're going to pee them down in the toilet bowl. It's not a poop cleanse. It's a deep cellular cleanse. The only company in the world that has a cellular cleanse.
Oh my God. Here we go. You know that sound effect? Here we go. Here the F we go. That's what I was feeling in this moment. A deep cellular detox. Please tell us more. Tell us how that works. The special cleanse drink. Okay. The promise that your body is going to finally release toxins, your body already detoxes. It is called your liver and your kidneys. They don't need a supplement to do their job. What people are experiencing during this cleanse is a calorie deficit, probably more hydration and less snacking. And that's why they're feeling better. That's why they're feeling lighter. It doesn't really have anything to do with the products. It has everything to do with the calorie deficit if their goals are weight loss. 2-day fasts can be so risky for people with blood sugar issues, chronic pain, and or a history of restricted or disordered eating. This is not safe for so many people. Oh my God, I hate it. Thanks. I hate it. Anyways.
The Ionic Supreme, I call it my mommy juice or my happy juice because
Ooh.
it makes you feel good, it gives you energy, and it reduces that stress hormone. So the three-pronged approach.
Also, I want to mention this as well. So she was mentioning the 2 shakes a day, 1 meal. She's also going to be mentioning, if she hasn't already, I may have paused it a little too soon, a metabolism booster. And what she is doing is she is creating dependency on products, because when people take these products and they see some sort of change in their body or how they're feeling, they're going to think that it has something to do with the products, which is going to create a dependency, because if they're seeing some kind of changes, they're going to say, oh, well, I've got to keep doing this. It's creating dependencies in people. It's extremely alarming. She's teaching people to replace real meals with shakes and then selling herself as an accountability coach of some kind who's going to keep them compliant. She talks like protein suddenly becomes magical when it comes from an MLM pouch. At least she will. Let's hear what else she has to say about this.
Is simple. For the cost that you're going grocery shopping today, you're probably spending
Who did this?
10 to 15, maybe $20 on a meal, not including that $7 Starbucks you might stop for in the morning because you've hit, rock bottom, or that's
Not the coffee shame. Not the that's $7 at Starbucks because you've hit rock bottom. Girl, what are you doing? Make coffee at home. There's nothing wrong with coffee.
sweet that you get out of the machine in the afternoon. The Isagenix meal replacements, there's 64 meal replacements in this product package, cost under $5 per meal. So you're saving money. You're not spending additional money.
That's assuming that people are spending what you suggested here. And I guarantee you, people are not spending that much when they're making their own meals at home. They are probably on a very tight budget, most people.
I think that that's really important to share because everybody's on a budget. All right, so here's one of the products, the Ionic Supreme. It's got ashwagandha. Say that 5 times. Rhodiola. It's got mushroom. It's got all kinds of botanicals and adaptogens to help calm the body, de-stress the body. The Cleanse for Life, aloe vera, the wet inner part of the aloe vera plant, not the skin, not reduced by heat. It's the real fillet of the plant in this product. Turmeric, peppermint, B vitamins. It's got a lot of different minerals in it. And this is the detoxing product. You're going to take 4 times a day. When you do.
What did she say? 4 times a day you're taking this product? Yeah, you're going to be real chill. Actually, I shouldn't even say that because I'm not looking at the ingredient label right now. I wonder if there is even enough of the ingredients in it to cause these effects 4 times a day.
Your 2-day intermittent fasting. 2 days of fasting with nutrition, plus a snack or 2, 100 calories, protein-based, a day during the fasting. It's not a water fast. Then 5 days, you eat 3 meals, snack or 2 if you want or need, and you will start seeing your body change. You'll feel different. You'll wake up with energy. You'll sleep better. Brain fog goes away. Your body fat ratio will change. Your bloat will be gone. Your
The red is so aggressive. Like, calm down.
inflammation is reduced to the point where people don't feel the joint pain. So there's a beautiful, beautiful combination based on how this company put it together. Our chief science officer, Dr. Paul Arciero, said the bonuses and benefits you'll get in your body, you would not replace them by going back to eating that sugary crap again, because
Did the doctor say sugary crap, or are you saying that?
how good you feel. People don't realize how good you can feel. I'm 64. I have more energy today. I've been on these products for 7 years now. I have more energy today than I did in my 30s. And I've always eaten clean. And I've never had a weight issue until I started going through menopause. I started getting that, gut fat, a little bit of the bulge, and made me crazy. But today I have more muscle on my body than I did when I was competing in gymnastics through college.
Highly doubt that. I highly doubt that she has more muscle now than when she was a gymnast in college. I don't believe that for a second. Shout out to all the gymnasts out there.
And teaching fitness classes. Why? Clean protein in the right amount.
Unless she wasn't eating enough. She wasn't taking in enough protein. And now she's very protein focused from the sounds of it. I wonder if that could be. Inquiring minds want to know. Guarantee you it has nothing to do with Isagenix products.
So this is a beautiful way to change the lineage of your family once you change the lineage of your body. I will help walk you through the 11 or 30 day. I've got a free Facebook group. It's my health group. Every day I post something, whether it's
I should try and get in that group.
Your marching orders for today. You're going to, drink a shake in the morning. You're going to take this accelerator pill mid-morning to help boost metabolism. There's no drugs.
Not a thermogenic. Okay.
Ephedrine, it's all natural, usually tea-based for the energy that you're going to be getting.
Their branding is giving boiled chicken. Unseasoned boiled chicken. What is the name? I can hear the song in my head. Rapper's Delight. Remember the part where he was like, and the chicken tastes like wood? That's what I was thinking of. Anyways, that's what their branding looks like. It's giving Rapper's Delight, where they're talking about the chicken tastes like wood, tasting like wood. Anyways.
You'll be able to download a video or a PDF. I'll just load up information. You can pick and choose what you want to learn. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But you will have your own sent to you via email outline of every day for 11 or 30 days. It's just rinse and repeat. 5 days eating, 2 days cleansing. I will walk you through how you're going to feel. I will walk you through your highs and your lows. I will be available through the group chat or a phone call. I am passionate about helping women get through their first time to reset their body. Why? Because I know you will not go back. You will have results. This company has a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Okay, let's go back to the protein thing, because prioritizing protein is so important for a lot of people, and this routine sounds very expensive. It sounds unnecessary. So I thought it might be helpful to replace her routine with something real, something that people can actually do. Have some protein, most meals. Fiber, most meals, strength training 2 to 3 times a week, which I've mentioned multiple times in this video, walking, or even movement that you're able to do and that you enjoy, drinking water, monitoring your sleep hygiene, consistency, no cleanse required. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Okay.
Any of the products. Try it for 30 days. Use it as it's supposed to be used. And if you don't see results, there's no questions asked. With that said, you have nothing to lose but inches, weight, cravings, maybe mirror insecurity, and yo-yo dieting. So if you're ready for that pre-holiday reset, where you can go in to Thanksgiving, Christmas, 10 pounds lighter, 3, 5, 7 inches shrunken off your body, why not? I spelled difference wrong. Oh, well, sorry. Just human. I'll correct that later. You can go into the holidays and you will have people ask you, what are you doing? Well, with that, I can show you how you can make. Introducing 2 people, this company will pay you up to $600.
There's the pitch. There's the income pitch. This is the real purpose of this video. Health talk is always going to lead into a pitch to recruit you into their business. Isagenix, their own income disclosure statement, says that the average associate makes $787 a year before expenses in 2023. Most people lose money. That's not financial freedom. That's a very expensive hobby. A terrible hobby, in my opinion, but a very expensive hobby. When someone says share with 2 people and earn hundreds, but the company says that the average person earns less than $1,000 a year before cost, that is a red flag the size of the Las Vegas Strip. I think I've seen what I needed to see, you guys. If you're somebody that is in Isagenix and this video made you uncomfortable, please know, I get it. I've been there. Totally understand where you're coming from. You're probably mad at me. It's all good. I can shoulder that. I'm mad at the system that told you that your body is toxic. I'm mad that this person is saying that food is dangerous and that you have to recruit people to be successful in multi-level marketing. Here's the thing. You deserve so much better. And if you're confused about nutrition, this is why. Things like this make nutrition so confusing. Programs like this target people who already feel overwhelmed and hopeless. They promise clarity but deliver restriction and guilt. We definitely saw the guilt and some shame tonight, whenever you're watching this on this video. You're not broken. You didn't ruin your metabolism. You're not too old to make progress. You don't need a cleanse to be healthy. And to anyone living with chronic pain, you deserve support, not shame. You deserve treatment, not detox powder. Your pain is not caused by toxins and fat cells. You did nothing wrong. If you walked into this video feeling confused, I hope you walk out feeling a little bit more clear and more empowered, especially. You don't need extreme rules. You don't need resets. 10-day, 15-day, 30-day, whatever you're seeing on social media. You don't need to have an upline and a downline. You need simple habits that work for your real life and support the body that you live in. And if you're new here, make sure that you check out the playlists that are in my video description, especially the sketchy supplements series. I'm having a lot of fun with those, so I hope you check it out. And if you're recovering from nutrition confusion or MLM wellness culture, please know that this is a safe place for you here. Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed today's video, if you would like and subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. It helps me get the word out. And guys, don't fall for this stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.